Welcome back to Midwest Small Town, the podcast that travels America's back roads in search of the communities, characters, and landmarks that make the Midwest unlike anywhere else in the world. I'm your host, Dan, and today we are headed to north central Kansas, where a town of 457 people, according to the 2020 census, has spent more than 70 years making sure the world doesn't forget it. This is the story of Cawker City, Kansas, the story of a giant ball of twine. Now, I know what you're thinking, a ball of twine, really, Dan? How can a giant ball of farm string possibly hold a key to a town's survival? Well, by the end of this episode, you're going to understand why thousands of travelers have pulled off the highway to see it. This is the story of how a small Kansas town found a way to stay on the map. To understand the twine ball, you first have to understand Cawker City. Located in Mitchell County, Kansas, Cawker City sits amid rolling prairie farmland. Today, fewer than 500 people call it home. Like many Midwestern towns, Cawker City was founded during the great westward expansion of the late 19th century. Railroads arrived, businesses opened, families built homes, churches, schools, grain elevators, and Main Street storefronts followed. For decades, towns like Cawker City served as the economic and social center of rural life. But throughout the 20th century, something began happening across the Great Plains. Farm equipment became larger and more efficient, fewer people were needed to work the land, young people left for bigger cities, and populations declined. Many towns struggled to survive, and if you've ever driven through rural Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, you've seen it. A once bustling downtown with few empty storefronts, a school that's merged with another district, a population sign at the edge of town showing fewer residents than it did decades ago. For many communities, the biggest challenge isn't just economics, it's visibility. How do you make sure people remember your town exists? How do you convince travelers to stop? How do you give your community something unique to rally around? For Cawker City, the answer came from an unexpected place. A farm barn, and a pile of old twine. Our story begins on Christmas Eve, 1953. A Kansas farmer named Frank Stober was dealing with a problem familiar to farmers everywhere: twine. And lots of it. Back then, twine was used constantly around farms, bales of hay, bundling crops, equipment, packaging, and over time, used twine accumulated everywhere. Most farmers simply just burned it. But Frank wasn't most farmers. At 62 years old, he decided there might be an easier solution. Instead of hauling that twine around and burning it, he began rolling it into a big giant ball. That's it. No grand vision, no publicity campaign, no dreams of world records. He just started wrapping one piece around another, and then another, and another. And what began as a practical solution soon became something else entirely. The ball kept growing. Neighbors noticed they had old twine too. Rather than burn theirs, they brought it to Frank, and he added it to the ball. Soon the project became something of a local curiosity, and by late 1950s, the ball had grown to several tons in weight and stood many feet tall. Frank carefully measured it. He tracked its growth. He even kept records of who contributed twine. What started as a farm cleanup had become a community project. Without anyone realizing it, the foundation for Cawker City's future landmark had been created. By 1961, Frank's creation had become too large for its original home. Imagine trying to explain this to someone. Well, we got a giant ball of twine in a barn. How giant are you talking? Oh, about 11 feet across. At some point, the ball became too big to ignore, and that year Frank donated it to Cawker City. The giant twine ball was moved into town and displayed for everyone to see, and people came. At first they came because they were curious, then they came because they heard about it from friends. Then newspapers began writing stories. The world's largest ball of twine wasn't merely an oddity anymore. It was an attraction. The kind of roadside attraction that has always fascinated travelers crossing America's highways. Think about it. Road trips are filled with giant things, giant statues, giant animals, giant vegetables. America has always loved celebrating the unusual, and Cawker City's giant ball of twine fit perfectly into that tradition. Except this attraction wasn't built by a corporation. It wasn't designed by marketers. It was built by ordinary people, one piece of twine at a time. Frank passed away in 1974. For many projects, that would have been the end. The creator was gone, and the work stops. And the attraction slowly fades away. But something remarkable happened. The people of Cawker City decided the ball would continue growing. The town adopted it, and residents became caretakers. Visitors were encouraged to contribute. Annual celebrations were organized, and the ball transformed from Frank's project into everyone's project. And that's where the story becomes larger than twine, because the ball isn't merely about string. It's about community. Every single piece of twine added to the ball tells a story. Someone visited, someone cared enough to contribute, and someone wanted to leave a small mark. Over time, millions of feet of twine became woven together, and so did generations of people. Every August, Cawker City hosts one of its most beloved traditions, the Twine-a-thon. Imagine a summer community festival in small-town Kansas. Parades, neighbors are catching up, families gathering, visitors arriving from hundreds of miles away, and at the center of it all sits this giant twine ball. During the event, more twine is added, and the ball grows. And once again, year after year, decade after decade, the tradition ensures that the ball remains alive. Not preserved behind glass and not frozen in time, but growing, changing. And maybe that's why people find it so fascinating. Most roadside attractions, once they're built, they're finished. This one never is. It's always becoming something larger, just like the community surrounding it. Now let's talk about the bigger picture, because this story isn't really about a world record. It's about survival. Across rural America, countless communities face a common challenge: population loss, economic change, the fear of being forgotten. And for towns like Cawker City, visibility matters. Every traveler who stops for a photo might buy lunch, purchase gas, visit another local business, tell friends about the town. And the world's largest ball of twine gave Cawker City something invaluable. A reason to stop, a reason to remember, a reason to appear on maps, documentaries, road trip itineraries, even a podcast like this one. Think about how many small towns you've driven through without remembering their names. Now think about Cawker City. You've probably never even been there, but now you'll remember it because of the twine ball. That is the power of a story. And the people of Cawker City understood that long ago. Instead of allowing their town to fade quietly into the background, they embraced something unique, something quirky, something memorable, and it worked. You'll see proof that communities don't always need massive budgets or major industries to build an identity. Sometimes all they need is a good story. The twine ball represents something deeply Midwestern, taking ordinary materials, creating something extraordinary, neighbors helping neighbors, people contributing small pieces toward a larger goal. No single strand built the ball. It took thousands, millions. Just like no single person builds a town, communities are created one relationship at a time, one family at a time, one generation at a time. And that twine ball, in many ways, is a physical monument to that idea. Today, Cawker City remains a small Kansas town on the prairie. Its population, like I said before, is around 457 people. It may even be less today. But thanks to a farmer and a giant ball of twine that began rolling in a barn more than 70 years ago, it has become known around the world. And perhaps that's the most remarkable part of this story. What began as a simple effort to clean up old farm twine became a symbol of resilience, a symbol of community, and a symbol of a town's determination not to be forgotten. So the next time you're driving through the Midwest and you see a sign pointing towards something unusual, consider taking the exit. Because behind every roadside attraction is a story. And behind that story is the very small town and a community working hard to keep its story alive. If you have a story of a small town, your small town, and you would like me to tell that story, I would love to hear from you. You can always reach me at midwestsmalltown@gmail.com. That's midwestsmalltown@gmail.com. This episode of Cawker City, Kansas, and the largest ball of twine was written, recorded, and produced by me, myself, and I. I'm Dan, your host, and this is Midwest Small Town.